Welcome riding buddies. For my video this week, what we're going to do is I want to have a look at Moto Trials. Yeah, they're funny looking motorbikes, that's for sure. But this is a sport, it's just amazing. It's amazing what you can do in trials. You don't even really need to have a specific trials bike to do it. You see a lot of guys doing trials on motocross bikes, enduro bikes, all that sort of stuff. So you don't have to have this bike. Obviously these bikes make trials a lot easier, but what we want to do is just have a look, talk about what Moto Trials is, and give you some insight into what it's all about. With Moto Trials, it is a real family orientated sport. Everyone in the family compete. Mum, dad, son, daughter, it doesn't matter. Everyone can compete. It is the safest form of motorcycle sport in extreme sport, but it is safe. You are not being raced against other people. It's not the first one across the finish line. It's all about points. You're not being scored by an individual person like freestyle, for example, or let's go outside the sport and say diving or dancing. You actually do get points. So it's still up to you. It's not up to a judge to score you. But it is not about speed. It's all about bike control and discipline of yourself on the bike. Also too, trials is something that all the top level motorcycle racers of every discipline uses. Valentino Rossi, he's been known to throw a leg over trials bike to use it as cross training for road racing. All your top level hardcore enduro riders are all former trials riders. Motocross riders, pretty much, well, Ricky Carmichael, he used trials as a cross trainer, and pretty much every top level motocrosser uses trials as a cross training exercise. It is so important because trials will teach you all about bike control, balance, your throttle control, clutch control is so important, and your brake control, it's so important with trials. And it gives you all that background and experience that you need to go out and become the next Chad Reed in Australia or become the next Valentino Rossi. It's just so important. You don't need anything specific. We're just out at a friend of mine's property here, and we're just going to go and do some trials. You don't need to go anywhere specific. The bikes are so quiet. I know guys that ride trials in their backyard in town because the bikes are so quiet. You've got a full range of bikes as well. You've got the kids' bikes right through to the full factory bikes that we have here. That thing's a bit of an animal, but this is more your clubman sort of level bike. Very easy to ride, cheap. A brand new clubman bike these days is going to cost you around $8-9 grand. That's a brand new bike. Now you go and buy a brand new motocross bike and you're going to pay $12,000-13,000. Also too, at a clubman level, to run one of these things, a rear tyre every maybe 18 months, chains and sprockets, well, pretty much they just stay on there, they never wear out. Fuel, they haven't got much fuel tank anyway, so obviously they don't use much fuel. Just all your running costs with Moto Trials is so cheap. It is the cheapest form of motorcycle competition you will find, bar none. You've got a lot of different classes. You've got your twin truck, so the guys that want to be a bit nostalgic and go into the vintage style of stuff, you've got the twin shock classes. You've got the juniors. You've got the full-on A-graders. You've got every class in between. You've also got electric. Electric trials bikes are really starting to become very popular these days. So there's just so much stuff and classes and everything about it that just makes it so great. So what we're going to do today is we've got Ding coming along. Ding, as we already know, is a motocrosser. He's not a trials rider. But we're going to talk to Ding and talk to you guys about what Moto Trials is, how it's scored. We'll go in a little bit in depth with it. I'm not going to get too carried away, but I want to get in depth and talk about it and just explain what it's all about. So here's Ding now. Yeah, this is what you're going to ride. I know there's not all of it here.
No.
Yeah, no, you learn all your clutch, you practice your clutch control and everything. But, yeah, oh mate, you can do some really cool stuff on it. Yeah, cool. Okay, so Ding's quite happy now. He didn't like the bike to start with. He's quite happy with it. He's willing to have a crack at it. Also too, it's taken a lot of work to convince Ding not to wear his body armour, but he still insists on his helmet, goggles, his motocross helmet. He doesn't want to wear an open face, but at least we got rid of his body armour, so make him a little bit freer. So we'll take it out and we'll have a look at what Moto Trials is all about. Okay, so we're down in a creek here, and what we're going to do, we've got Jared here from the Western District Trials Club here, and he's going to run Ding through the section that we've marked out here. Of course, we've got the white tape and stuff all marked out. And what this is just a basic section that they use for all the different classes. And Jared's going to run Ding through it and just tell him where he reckons he should go, because Ding is just doing the very entry-level class. The very entry-level class is called a what? Intro, and they call it a T6.
Okay. Alrighty, Ding. We're going to give this section a go, mate. We're going to do T6. Okay? Awesome. So, first thing we want to do before we walk into a section, we have a look at our tapes. We've got white on our left, and we always got a colour tape, whether it be blue or red, on your throttle side. Do you know which one your throttle is?
Yeah.
Awesome. Alright, so what we want to do, the main aim is to come through this section without dropping any feet down on the ground. So you want to pick the easiest line you can to get through here. So what we're going to do, we're not going to go up there, because that'll look way too hard. We're going to stay up here. We're going to come through here. Just like that. Maybe we'll try and stay a bit more upright when we're on the bike. Sounds good. We'll come through here. We're going to watch out for rocks. We're going to watch out for the creek, because that's slippery. We're going to come all the way through here. And as we come through, see you've got some rock ledges there. So you want to take them nice and easy. Exactly. Nice and slow. As you come through, there's some more logs and stuff on the ground. And this is where you'll end your section. Right here, because this is where the tape ends. So you want to make sure you get that front wheel out of the section. Ready? Let's do it. Alright, Ding, we're going to give this section a go now. So I want you to leave nice and smoothly and slowly, seeing how we've got little traction here. And I want you to take the corners nice and smooth and slowly, alright? Alright, let's give it a go. Okay, Ding, take two. We're going to have another go at this. That was a little bit, the motocross side come out in him. So we'll have another go now. And let's see if Ding can actually get it right this time. So start him up there, Ding. Oh, nice and slow, Ding. Stand up! Stand up, you idiot! Put your knees out! Oh, at least he got through it, so that's a start. Absolutely.
He got through. What was that? That was about a 3, wasn't it?
We call that a 3 points.
Yeah, 3 points. So he's put his foot down 3 times. He got through there. Wasn't pretty, but he got through it. And I think there a few times he ventured off his line he was supposed to be on.
I think so. He got there at the end, but yeah, he did take an odd path. Yeah.
So we'll work with him a little bit now, and we'll run through the scoring system of how it's actually done. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to run through how trials is scored. Okay, so Jared's going to run this through us. As I said, trials is not about speed, it's about control and discipline. So Jared, so how is it scored?
So the main scoring, we work on for each section we have a total points of 5. At the end of the day, you want to finish on the least amount of points as possible. So
yeah, that's a whole hand. That's a whole hand.
So, as we come through the section, if you put your foot down once, that's 1 point. If you put your foot down 2 times, that's 2 points. 3 times, 3 points. You can then, once you get to 3, you can put your feet down as many times as you want. 3 is the maximum you can get with just your feet down. If you put both your feet down at the same time, that's a 3.
Yeah, don't do that thing. Don't. That's not how you. Yeah, don't do that one. That's a big 3 up straight off.
Alrighty, and to get a 5, you need to stall the bike, fall off the bike, or be both feet on the same side of the bike. Alrighty. So there's not too many ways to get a 5 as long as you don't crash. Exactly, mate. Also, if you go outside of the section, or if you miss one of your markers, that's also a 5.
Right, cool. So that is how it's actually scored. I think it's too complex for Ding. Ding just knows to get on the start gates, pin it, and first one to the line wins. But we'll see if he can work it out. At least he knows how to put feet on the ground. We know that bit. So we'll have another look, and we'll see if we can get Ding a little bit better here, and we'll just talk through a couple of little techniques. Okay, so what we're going to do now, Jared's going to show Ding how it's meant to be done in his section. You've got to remember Jared is a little bit better rider than Ding, but we'll see how he goes. Now, not pinned. You don't pin it. You take it easy, mate. Nah, that's a lot better. So what we're going to do now, how about we'll show Ding a couple of little balance techniques to try and get him on the right track here, eh?
Now we're going to work on our balance, mate. So what we want to do, when we're standing on the pegs, as we stand up on the pegs, see how I'm turning my front wheel as I lean over? So if I start leaning to that side, I turn my wheel to the right. If I lean to the other side, I turn my wheel to the left. And that allows me to shift my balance from side to side without moving my body. Alrighty, now I'll get you to jump up and give that a go. Alright, great start. Now let's try and stand up on the pegs. There you go. Both feet. Alright, now let's try again. Let's try and move those handlebars. Alrighty, getting there, getting closer. Now I want you to only move the handlebars as you start to fall over from side to side. There you go. Now move them to the other side. So as you fall over to that side, Ding, I want you to move the handlebars that way. There you go. Now move them the other way. Awesome. Nice one, Ding. Nice. Righty, so now we're going to talk about our arrows. Arrows are what makes up the difficulty in a section. So that lets you know where you have to go for your grade. So here we have a white arrow, which is for our clubman or T5 level riders. So one up from our introductory riders. This arrow here tells you that it's pointing towards the white tape, which effectively makes this a gate. So as you come through the section, you know as you're riding from behind through, you can't use any of this side because at this point you have to be on this side of the rock. Now the colours for each of the grades will start at the top, T1 being green, and you'll also have a nameplate on your bike that'll let you know let the observer know which arrow you need to be following. So T1 Expert is a green arrow, T2 A grade, which is a red arrow, T3, which is a yellow line, which is a yellow arrow, funnily enough. Then we have our T4, which is our C grade, which is a blue arrow, T5 white arrow, and then when we come to our introductory riders, we don't have any arrows at all. What they need to do is just come from the start to the finish gate in the easiest, safest way they can.
Okay, so we're going to have another go now, see how Ding goes. Once again, Jared's down there as his minder, which you're allowed to have, and we'll see what Ding can do.
There you go, Ding. There you go, nice and smooth. There you go.
He's through. How many points did he get that time, Jared? I wasn't counting. He got it's through for the 0. Awesome. So a big fat 0 straight off.
Absolutely. He's done very well there. Using those simple techniques gets you through nice and easily.
Okay, so what we're going to do now, Jared is an A grader. So what he's going to do, he's going to show us an A grade section, basically, of what they do in A grade. Okay? And what we're going to do, we had Jared who was minding for Ding. So I think it's quite recommended that Ding be Jared's minder, okay, for this section. So, yeah, he's the one with the helmet, so he can be Jared's minder for this section. Okay, so Jared's going to give us an A grade section, and we'll see how he looks on this section now. You're an idiot, Ding. Now that was a sacrifice of 1 point to help him get through the section. And Ding is doing his greatest attempt over here. He's just run away completely. Poor old Jared's over here doing all the hard work. So much for his minder. Now, hey Ding, you got to actually catch, not playing cricket, mate. And out of the section. Okay, so we're just having a traditional old game of follow the leader now. Okay, Ding's turn.
Come on,
No.
Ding!
Nah, that's it. He's had enough. Okay, so we've done a full day's ride out here. Ding's a bit spent, what do you reckon?
Yeah, he looks a bit exhausted.
Yeah, so we've done some training with Ding to get him into trials, get him going. He's done pretty good. What do you? You're one of the coaches for the Western District Trials Club, so how do you reckon Ding's gone?
Look, for a motocrosser, he's done really well, you know. For someone as a motocross rider who doesn't have any bike control, they've done really well today. He's improved a lot.
Of course, a special thank you to Lyndon Blake, who lent us his bike. But that's been just an overview of the world of trials. There's so many videos out there showing you what trials is, but hopefully you've gone away from this and you've learnt some of the little things about trials and what makes trials so great as far as a discipline goes. It's just a really good intro. He reckons it's awesome. It's just been an overview to check it all out. Hopefully you've got something from this and you'll go away and you might get yourself a trials bike, even just a bike, an enduro bike or a motocross bike. There's not a heap of trials clubs around, but the Western Districts Trials Club is a very powerful club in the world of trials. If you want to know more about trials, you want to know how to get into stuff, find a club or talk to your state controlling body. So in Queensland here, it's obviously Motorcycling Queensland, or you can even talk to Motorcycling Australia about trials in Australia. Anything we need to add?
Just for anyone who does want to have a go on trials and they don't have a trials bike, feel free to come along. All you do need is a trials specific rear tyre and any bike can compete. Bring your road bike if you want to.
That's something he'd do.
Yeah.
But yeah, get along, check it out. There's all the categories. Obviously, with this video, we've only been looking at the senior categories, but there's all the juniors, isn't there? What age are they starting at?
Oh, 6.
6?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like they're starting very young. The little kids, what are they riding mainly?
So the little kids, a lot of them are starting off on what's called an Osset, which is an electric bike.
Oh, a little battery one.
Little battery operated bike. So that's awesome for, especially if you live in town. Kids can play around on the backyard as long as they want. It's not going to make any noise for the neighbours. Then from there, they usually move up to a 50 or an 80 cc.
So something like your little KTM 50s and things like that?
Yeah, so there are actually specific trials.
There is a specific
mini bikes.
There you go. So they build bikes specifically for it.
Absolutely. And then from there, they'll step up to a 125 all the way until they're about 16. And once they sort of get over that 16, they usually move on to a 250 from there.
So the categories are a lot like most other motorbike categories, like motocross, ding. They go through the juniors, work their way through. So, mate, just get out there, check it all out. Any questions, contact your state controlling body or Motorcycling Australia, or if you're around the southern Queensland area, Western District Trials Club, they're always there to help out. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe because there's a lot of other stuff there he features quite often. And we'll catch you next time. Thank you for watching, and thank you to everybody that's helped with this video.